I would now like to call upon David Parker from the Gates Foundation to please give us his closing remarks.
Thank you. Very formal. All right. Are they on? Yes, good. All right, I'll start off with a quote, since everybody was seemingly very interested in those, that I like to say back in Seattle, maybe less applicable here, but after this session I think it will be. It's from Tolstoy. Everybody talks about changing the world, but nobody talks about changing themselves. The quote itself is himself, but in this case we will gender neutralize it, and themselves, himself or herself. And so I say that to say there are commitments here that were made individually, organizationally, that may be forgotten when you get back to the office. You've got the weekend coming up, you'll relax, you'll say, yes, I had a great time in Delhi, it was a great conference, and go back to business as usual. But the commitments made here around gender mainstreaming in your organization really need to turn into action, as Madhu said, and to commit to changing yourselves and changing your organization to take these concepts to heart is going to be a way that's going to help change India and change the world ultimately. So I hope you do take these back. So that's my first reflection. I was really excited to come back into this room. I took a little bit of a break because I was not part of one of these organizations. And to see the buzz and the energy created by this topic was really, really tremendous. And so great job to both Lucero and Graham. Again, I want to thank them for moderating this. So that was wonderful. Also want to then think back to the panel this morning, which, boy, what a privilege certainly to hear directly from Param Iyer, who has just been such a catalyst of change here in India in driving so much with Swachh Bharat. And so was really so pleased to hear him commit to demonstrate the government of India's commitment once Swachh Bharat ends next week and that 5-year mission is over to continue the emphasis on ODF sustainability and ODF++ and how important it was to see that through, and how even with the new emphasis on water by the government, that sanitation and fecal sludge management is a critical pillar of that. And that's just so important to hear. That was wonderful. And then to be reinforced by Nena's presentation and the important work of the India Sanitation Coalition. And I wrote down a quote. This was even before I knew I was going to be put on the spot here to make some reflections on the day I had written this down, which Nena said, it will be one of the biggest failures in history if all of the investment that has gone into collection of fecal sludge doesn't result in treatment. One of the biggest failures in history. I was like, wow, what a great, bold thing to say, and how true it is, and thus how important the work of all of us, of you in this room is, frankly, to help achieve that commitment and not let the great work of Swachh Bharat over the last 5 years go to naught because the treatment aspect isn't happening. And then Madi from Orisha talking about equating installation of sewers to open heart surgery was another thing I had written down, and how it was an unnecessary surgery because it was so expensive and is so disruptive to do sewers, and they have rejected the programs from the German and the Japanese banks to build sewers in their states because of the commitment to fecal sludge management and how powerful that was. And I'd gone to Sakshi right afterward and said, I really want to get the video clip of his answer to that question because I just thought it was so powerful, and to show to our colleagues back in Seattle what the commitment is here in India at FSM. So those are some of my reflections from today. And this isn't even going into the great panels of yesterday from the other funders, and of course the community leaders was really, really moving, even through the translation that was done for me and my colleagues who do not speak Hindi or Telugu. So with that, I really want to thank the team at Dasra and Neera and Krishnan and everybody else for putting together such a great event, and how seamless it was and how much fun it was. So thanks to you both and to everybody there. And of course, my great colleagues, Madhu and Sakshi, for everything that you do and continue to do here in this great event. So thanks to both of you. All right, with that, I will hand it off to, I believe, Krishnan and Neera.
Can you go first? Wait, come here.
Okay. I'm going to first start by thanking all of you for coming these 2 days. We know it's a big commitment to ask you to come here, and some of you even volunteered to be on some of our toughest panels. I do want to thank the anti-collaboration panel a lot. No one understands we set that up, so thank you for that. Each of you participate. You were really present. You were incredibly passionate. I feel privileged that a lot of you did come and tell us that you felt you got a lot out of these last 2 days. And I think, again, that is something that shows a commitment from this entire collective, that when we are together and we are present, there isn't much that we really can't achieve from our side. So a big thank you and a big round of applause to each and every one of you very much.
So I know you're all dying to leave, but I see that everybody's awake and the doors are all locked. So before you exit, if you can help and appreciate, we're going to specifically thank individual BMGF members because it was a trusted relationship for us to be able to be here, and many of you have been so engaged and come such a long way that in a very gender-neutral way, we'd like to appreciate you and a recycle a rose. So as we call your name, if you may come up, then as an entire community, we want to be able to thank you for everything you've done, for all the support that you do, and all the madness that you also create, the enthusiasm, the energy, the ups and downs in that on behalf of all of us. If each of you can just walk across here, we will present you on behalf of the community a recycled rose. Madhu. This is in no particular order. Madhu, Sakshi, Graham, Lucero, Brian, David, Sarah, Monica, and Zara. Save the roses for the other folks. So we were all teased about quotes, and so I couldn't leave you without a quote. I wish Alkesh was here, so I hope you're recording this. We'll send it back. Krishnan and I decided we should repeat the quote that we opened with. Yes? Are you ready? Okay. When I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I'm afraid. So all of you fearless people, off you go, and let's change the world. So thank you.